This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Oh, isn't that hair fabulous? Broadcasting live from the new hotspot on Fort Myers Beach, Wahoo Willie'S. It's time for another exciting award-winning episode of Beach Talk Radio. Here are your humble hosts, Kim and Ed Ryan.
See, I didn't need to say anything that time. Thank you all for coming to Wahoo Willie'S today. We appreciate that very much. We have a big show, long show planned for today, and we have quite a package giveaway, 3 package giveaways for today. And just to let you all know,
my mom was here for a couple of weeks. She got to meet everybody. She was sad to go back.
Was it a couple of weeks or a couple of months?
No, it was a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
Stop. And so last night she called and she's like, so about the giveaways. I'm like,
no employee of Wahoo Willie'S can win, and no family member can win. But just to tell you,
Marie.
I was just sitting around the house last week, and I thought, well, let me come up with some kind of idea. It's been 2 weeks since we did the race. Let me just see if I can come up with a couple of giveaways for Memorial Day weekend and have people come down whenever they want to come down. And, you know, the first giveaway we got was from the lady that does the mobile massages. She stopped by this morning and dropped her gift certificates. And then it just kind of steamrolled from there. I think there's 17 prizes in here. It's got to be worth 10.
I think you mean snowballed.
What did I say? Steamrolled?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that was too violent. Steamrolling is too violent.
Steamrolling is flat. Snowball is accruing.
Yeah, and I'm not going to run through the prizes now because there are so many. It would take so long. But I think if you watched on Facebook, you saw we have 17 right now, and this could be like a party weekend for somebody if they win this. To have, you know, you could have your friends stay at the Lighthouse, at Pink Shell, at Diamond Head, and there's also places that rent out their homes in here where you get a big discount for that. So with the way we're going to do it is we're going to give it away 2 online and 1 to the audience here. So, but if you're watching online and you type it in and you win, then you win. I mean, that's just the way it goes. So if you're on your phone and you just happen to be here, well, then, you know, the people that are watching in Chicago are shit out of luck. And I mean, because we're going to be watching the Facebook page, and the first person that types in the answer, we did dig into the trivia questions and tried to make them a little bit harder than the ones that we've had in the past.
Did Lee Melsick?
Lee Melsick provided the trivia questions for us once again.
He has some hard questions.
Yeah, that guy knows a lot about a lot of stuff. So that's coming up. We're going to do
smarter than you and
the first one will be after our first guest. The second one will be after that, and we'll let you know when that comes up. So.
And I want to do a special shout out to our friend who came down from Cincinnati, Mr. Bob. We're so grateful to have him down here. Bob's been coming to the beach forever, and this was his first visit back since the storm. So it's been a bit for him to take in. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Bob's wheelchair was donated to him by the Cincinnati Bengals, the football team. So yeah. Very nice.
And I also want to give out a shout out to Katie from Ohio, who stopped by here earlier and was super sweet and asked if she could get her picture with you. And you're like, no. And the poor woman was
kidding.
Like so crestfallen and walked away. I'm like, he's just kidding.
Oh, she didn't walk away. She knew I was kidding.
Funny.
All right, let's get to our first guest. Okay. Folks, if you're rebuilding your house or thinking about doing something unique with your house, maybe like lifting your house, we're going to show you some pictures about something you really should consider. Mike is from P3 Elevations, and Mike, you're doing some work on the island with a couple of houses already where the folks may have knocked their house down, but you've convinced them that there's another option, which is raising it from where it is.
Absolutely. Several of our customers so far were on the Army Corps original list of homes that were substantially damaged and should have been destroyed. And we've already lifted a couple of them up to make them compliant with the new rules. And we've also taken one that was shifted on its columns by the storm and picked it back up to meet compliant now. And we're currently building columns under both of those right now. And we have permits in for several more.
So how exactly do you lift a house? Because that seems like a heavy lift. That wouldn't be like manpower lift. Like you're going to need some heavy equipment to
Right.
lift a house. And do you lift the whole thing? Like tell us that.
Absolutely. So we start with an engineering plan from a Florida certified engineer that tells us exactly what the structure under the dwelling is going to look like when we're done. Then we lay out all of our cribbing and our steel, depending on what type of foundations underneath the house. And then we use a unified jacking machine to pick the entire house and anything attached to it. Some of them have semi-attached garages and some of them have additions and all sorts of different foot plans. We pick everything up all together. I tell folks that it's like picking up a tray full of loose dishes. As long as you've got the dishes and I pick the pan up, I can pick the pan straight up.
When I was
The
in
unified jacking
when I was in
system,
college, I used to
yes.
drive a unified jacking machine, and it was an unbelievable piece of machinery. Yeah.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
lying.
he's lying. Okay. Yeah, so we have
Again, it's his attempt at humor, and
it's awesome.
Thank you very much, Mike. It's very awesome.
Steamrolled right over you.
No, the unified jacking machine is really, really cool. It's a machine that allows me to apply exactly uniform pressure to all of the different points of the house. Because as you can imagine, the different corners of the house all weigh different things depending on what's built on top of the foundation. So it allows me to pick the entire system up in one smooth motion and build the cribbing so that everything stays together. We pick everything up from portable buildings and mobile homes all the way up to giant commercial buildings made out of concrete and steel.
Now,
Now you mentioned foundations. What different foundations will this work for?
Everything.
Everything.
I've got
slab.
I've got two that are wood
pier
frame here.
and-
Yep. I've got two that are wood frame that were already elevated about 7 or 8 feet, but got wet during the storm, that we're taking them up to the new base flood elevations. I also have 2 in permitting right now that are block on slab, typical traditional cinder block on slab homes. We'll dig those out and put those up. And I've got a pier on beam in Everglades City that's only got a crawl space under it. We're going to put it in the air.
Now, there's a question from Hula. Do you know what the FEMA code is? How high is the FEMA code now?
So it changes depending on the area you're in. There's a FEMA flood map, and we can walk through this with everybody. But if you have an elevation certificate, it'll tell you what your elevation is. If you have an old elevation certificate, you need to check the new maps. And I can walk anybody through that. We can figure out what it is. But each area, depending on how close they get to the ocean and what the expected 5,000-year floodplain is, that's what your base flood elevation is. And that's a height not above the ground, but a height above mean high tide. So most houses in the area are 5 or 6 feet above mean high tide right now if they're on the ground. And most of this area needs to go 13 feet. And then the building code requires us to go 1 additional foot beyond that, which is called a freeboard.
So that means that the house will be 14 feet or higher?
Well,
He's not good with math.
It
so.
could be, but typically no. So if you're already starting with a ground level that's 5 or 6 feet above
Wait
mean
till you
high
see
tide,
what happens later tonight. Wait till you see how bad it gets later.
can I be here for that? I want to be here for that. If you're already starting at 6 feet off at the ground level, then that typically means that a 10-foot garage height, so you can park under the house, is going to put us at roughly 16 feet above the mean high tide level, which will be well clear of any, hopefully any kind of flood water in the future.
So you're building steps for these houses too, right? Or they?
Are they like, yeah, you got a bungee jump off? Like that's
No kidding.
high.
That's pretty high. Like how high is that beam right here? Is that 20 feet? No, that's not 20 feet.
No, that's not
15
20 feet. That's probably about 14 or so feet up.
So their house is going to start higher than that.
No, that's about where the level of the house would be. And we would have stairs and landings that are all part of the engineering to get in. And we work with an architect to make sure that this doesn't look like you just threw a house in the air on sticks. We make sure that the decks and stairs and everything architecturally look like this is a classic Florida Key West style stilt home. Or if you're in an A zone and you want flood walls and an actual enclosed garage all the way around it, we can do that with flood vents and make it. The intent here is to save Florida architecture, recycle these houses instead of putting 500,000 pounds worth of debris in the dump. We want to rescue these houses. They're worth rescuing and put them in the air, but make them so that they work with Mother Nature instead of just being in the way of flood water, in the way of wind.
All right. So I know if you're,
Is that me or you?
it's me. So we're going to put some pictures up on the Facebook here. So if you're on your phone or if you're watching at home, you're going to be able to see
Move
the
over.
pictures. The reason I'm close to you is because of the speaker.
Oh.
I don't want to be that close to you. Believe me.
Move that speaker away.
All
I
right.
don't believe that.
Mike, there you go. What's this picture here?
Okay, so this is a home that we did on a FEMA grant in Texas, and we pulled grant money for them. We've worked with the FEMA grant program across the country to do FMA grants, which is what this would be, which would be a pre-storm, pre-flood grant. And then there's HMGP, which the city of Fort Myers, the town of Fort Myers has been working on here, which is hazard mitigation grant. But this was a brick block on slab home. And then they got their grant. So we worked through all the engineering to get this one ready to go. So that's about a 450,000 pound block on slab home sitting on the ground. And
All right.
Now,
we're
when
gonna
you,
go.
I just
Hold
want to
on,
ask.
Hold
when
on.
You, no, wait. When you say grant, then that grant to me, like going to college, that's free money.
correct.
Okay. All right.
So there's a lot of different options. An FMA grant is, again, pre-storm, allows for the mitigation of potential flood loss before we get a storm. And about one home per county gets that a year because there's not a lot of money in the FMA program. HMGP is hazard mitigation, and that taps into a much larger bucket for disaster grant funding, federal disaster grant funding. And your municipality is applying for that as a very large scale thing, but we can help homeowners get into that program as part of that large
All right,
scale.
So
what-
just to put a fine point on it.
We were supposed to do before, during, and
All right.
after. Can't you hold your
All right,
questions
I'll
until
hold my
after?
questions.
All right. This is the during picture.
His
Correct.
blood sugar is low, so
Yeah,
he's cranky. Go ahead.
That's that exact home. We made it underneath that home and added steel to the bottom of that house to make sure that it's stable.
All right. Because
then-
she interrupted you, I want to do the before picture again. That's the before picture. That's the during picture. Oh,
Right.
you totally ruined the landscaping, Mike. Holy crap. I'm just kidding.
Well,
I guess you got to do that, right?
You
You got to
do.
get in there.
you do. I need
I'm just
about
kidding,
10,
dear.
I
I
need
was
about
just
10 or 15 feet around the house that we have
Yeah.
to work. But we elevated that home up to get it above the base flood elevation and that 1 foot of freeboard.
Yeah.
And now if you look in the corner on that picture, you'll see we're forming up the columns,
Yeah.
the permanent columns that will be the foundation on that home for holding it there. And then when you,
Did you ever lift a house and all of a sudden it was like, oh shit, the back bedroom fell out? I mean, it's
No.
it's
no,
So
we-
I get in trouble for diverting with
these-
a good question.
but, you know, these are the
he
kinds
can
of-
ask
dear,
ridiculous
these
no,
are the-
questions.
actually, it is really a valid question. A lot
ding,
of
ding,
homeowners
ding,
are
ding, ding,
concerned
ding,
about
ding, ding,
things.
ding, ding,
Valid.
ding, ding, ding.
Well, people are concerned
Where's my
about
bell?
whether we're going to break a house when we pick it up.
Well, yeah.
So we put a lot of time into the engineering ahead of time before we start digging or before we start lifting to make sure that we're carrying the load of that home in a way that it's not going to go anywhere.
Well, with
I mean,
that
that's-
unified jacking system, you got it
Yeah.
covered.
And we put a tremendous amount of steel. The home that I'm lifting over here is just a wood frame on stilts, but I've got 50-foot long, 13-inch thick steel beams running the entire length of the home to make sure that we're picking it up.
Now, if somebody, is it okay to ask this? If somebody wanted to go see the home in action, like the process, where would can they go down
So
that street?
The wood frame that we have up right now that we're building the columns on is on Fairweather Street.
Okay.
So they're welcome to go ride by there and take a look at the job there.
Okay.
We've got a whole lot more coming on.
Is that the crazy guy street?
No.
Okay.
No.
Are you sure? Why
That's-
would you say that?
So we've actually got permits in play right now in the city, and we've spent a lot of time working with the town to make sure that they understand the elements of going into a lift. I actually spent a fair amount of time with one of our clients in the Land Planning Council when they were revamping your code to make sure that
Wait,
they
what's the Land Planning Council?
He's saying the LPA.
Oh, the local planning. Okay,
Yeah.
local
Yeah,
planning
yeah,
agency.
Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah, sorry. So that when
No, I
they,
wanted to make sure we were talking about the
What's different
town,
and
not the
different.
county. Yeah.
No, I guess it's different in each municipality, called something different. But I spend a lot of time in all of those meetings making sure that they understand if I'm lifting a home that's already built to the setbacks.
Yeah. They're elected officials. Do they
Ooh.
understand?
They do
The
when I'm done.
setbacks.
I see.
We put it in the air. Well, now I have to put decks and stairs on it, and those are going to have to land in the setbacks.
Yep.
So we help the municipalities, hopefully before a storm, but a lot of times after the storm, revamp the codes to make sure that this is a viable option for homeowners.
So are people running into issues with the setbacks? Because this town is big on the setbacks.
They would have, but we fixed it.
I see. That's good for you then. Let's look at the after.
You can't put the stairs in the middle. They have to go on the outside.
Trying to show the
No, there's a
damn
lot of ways
picture.
that we can do it. Sometimes
That's
we
a
do.
good
Just when I
question,
go
right?
for the
We do.
after, she starts talking.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's
it's a
where
good
we
question.
work. That's where we work with the architect in the beginning when we're doing the design layout. If there's enough room inside the home that they can give up space to bring an internal staircase in, then I can bring it up through the garage and the inside and up into the house. But a lot of these homes are not built that way. If you've got a 1,300 square foot block on slab, you probably don't have room to cut out a giant staircase in the middle of this. In the middle.
How
of the
many
home.
houses on Fort Myers Beach do you think are liftable?
5,000.
5,000 houses, rather than knocking them down, or do they have to be below the 50%?
No, so the 50% rule, the FEMA portion of the 50% rule actually goes away when we do this because I elevate you out of that parameter.
No kidding.
So because of that, a lot of homeowners actually right now are running into, they want to put their home back together, but they can't get the permit to put their home back together because of the 50% rule. Once I bring it up, as long as it meets some of the Florida building code requirements to make sure it's going to conform when we're done, then we can get them up and get them elevated. I have one just not too far from here that's what we're doing right now. We're elevating it so that they can rebuild within that 50% rule.
Do you
That's
think-
a block on slab.
Do you think people know that if they at least look into getting their home elevated, that it's the 50% rules out?
I don't think a lot of folks know that because I don't think the counties and the cities do. There's just not a lot of good information about that
Yeah.
out there. So
You walked out and you went. And you came back
you were
on that
good
one.
about that. Yeah, very good. You were close to saying that the
You were close.
politicians don't educate people. They
part
might
of
not
it's-
know.
Well, they don't know. That's really what it comes down to is the FEMA rules change pretty rapidly every time we have a storm. And every time FEMA changes an administration up there, they rewrite the rules a little bit too to try to make it what they see as better. And you've got a pretty, right now, your flood coordinator here and your building official here are pretty buried.
We have a flood coordinator? I didn't know that.
You do now.
I see.
So
Is it contracted out or is it local?
I think it's someone they hired through Lee County.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
But that's where we spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
I spend probably, I would say, half my time when there's not a storm,
So let
lobbying
me-
and talking to municipalities
ask
to
you
make
this,
sure
Mike.
they know
So-
what to do.
All the structures on Fort Myers Beach were damaged, all the houses. So you have a damaged house that you're going to lift, but it still needs to be fixed.
It does.
Do they fix it first or do you lift it first?
It depends on what we're doing. So if it took a lot of damage that's going to require structural stuff, I would rather do that during the lift and work with their general contractors.
During the lift?
Yeah, so we would if it's on the ground and it took structural damage and we need to, or it's really low, it's a lot easier to fix floor joists when it's 10 feet overhead
All right.
than it is when it's 18 inches off the ground.
So there's some fixes you can make on the bottom.
Yep.
So, okay. So,
And you can fix the
all right.
inside of it.
So I think I got the tough question for you now. So you got a house that's above the 50% rule,
Okay,
right? And you want to fix some of it while it's on the ground.
right.
You can still do that as long as you tell the town that you're lifting it.
So once I apply for my permit to do the structural lift, they'll put what's called a CO hold on you moving back into the home until the lift is complete. But that means that they'll also issue you your permit with your general contractor of choice to start putting the home back together while we're going through our permit
Okay.
process.
All right. And so how are the permits going for you?
Originally, very slow. Now we've actually got it going through pretty good. We're about 3 to 4 weeks through the town process right now.
That's not bad.
No.
No.
All
But
right.
that's because we're
Are we
turning
going
in.
to talk about the
really good
insurance
engineering.
or
Well,
the
wait,
grants?
we
Oh,
have
got
to-
to wait again.
Dear, we have to
Wait
finish the
again.
flow. You showed the
Mhm.
before and the during, and
The
then I
flow
popped the
is-
after picture
Drum
up.
roll.
And you
The
just gotta have
flow
the
is
drum
just
roll.
determined by you.
All right. So here's the before picture. We're going to skip the during picture and go right to the after picture. And so now, wait a second. Why did you lift that house? It looks perfectly fine.
Because it's below grade, just like most of the homes out here. If they were built 1970, 1980, the FEMA flood maps weren't written yet.
So where is that house?
That one's in Texas, in Nassau Bay.
They're in some kind of high velocity flood zone, I guess.
They're just in a flood area
got
over
you.
there.
Yeah.
That whole area is low lying, just like here.
And then you lift it up and there you go.
Now that one got a full stem wall on the bottom with half-faced brick to architecturally make it look like the area that it was in.
Yeah.
Now, how high up is that?
That one's about 7.5 feet.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
that's
bottom of the
nothing.
slab.
That's
Right.
it. Where you're talking nosebleeds here. That's how high up you're
Well,
going.
Well,
have-
you're so funny about your geography. Like,
What?
Well, if you take a look, though,
Assuming
it
that
just
was
depends
near
on
the
where you
beach.
are. So like Cape Coral, the Cape Coral area only needs to come up about 3 feet
Really?
in order to be compliant because that's all they got for water. but obviously you guys took a tremendous amount more here on the barrier island.
So you would lift a house up 3 feet?
Well, a lot of people don't want to deal with stairs. So if they don't want to deal with stairs and they only want to go up 3 or 4 feet, we've done some where if they don't have a neighbor that's really close by, I can actually raise the grade of the entire yard up and bring the driveways and everything right up to the house if I only need to go up 2 or 3 feet.
Dude, I got to tell you, we have a massive audience watching because of these prize packages we're giving away. So I'm hoping that you get a lot of business from today's big audience. So
look,
however it happens, but it sounds like a good option.
The reality is that our goal with P3 is to make sure that this is accessible to everybody.
Right.
This is something that everyone should be able to rescue their home, elevate it, enjoy the waterfront that they want to live near, but do it in a way that they know that they're going to come home. Even if they evacuate, they're going to come home to a home that's still there.
Hey, Greg,
So
why isn't Steve lifting his home? He can't hear me over there. Your crowd is
So
too
what
big.
are the costs?
You're lifting his home. I know. He's Greg. He said you're great.
No,
Gotcha.
no. What are the costs?
So it varies. As you can imagine, the foundations are really, really variable on these homes. And what I have to put back under them for foundations is pretty variable. But I mean, let's say it's not an inexpensive proposition. We're talking about a lot of concrete, a lot of steel, and a lot of man hours. But if you're going to tear down and build new, the foundation that I have to build is the foundation you would have to build new.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're building a brand new home right now, you're going to spend $500 to $550 a square foot to build new. I would rather you spend $100 a square foot with a local general contractor putting back the existing home after I put it in the air, then you have to spend $350 to $400 a square foot on that finished space to build something brand new if it's viable.
And part of it too is that people are emotionally attached to their house.
Well,
and you're helping them save their house.
Right. I mean, I have clients that now obviously a lot of the folks here, they don't have any internal stuff anymore. A lot of their life was washed away by this storm, but they still have memories in that home. They still want to walk down that same hallway they raised their kids in.
Yeah.
And I can put that house back in the air and make it livable again and make sure that it stays that way for a really long time.
Now, tell everybody here that's in the audience what you have set up here in case they want to see something.
Right. So I've got one of our project managers is here, and he's got some videos running over there of homes that we've lifted, some time lapses running, and a lot more pictures. We have the Raised FL website, raisedfl.com. That will give you all of the information on how to get in touch with us. It's got a ton of information, a ton of pictures on Florida. I mean, I'm born and raised here. I went to high school in Immokalee. Wow. So, I mean, this is home for me. And I've got a pretty strong passion. I live on I live on the coast. I elevate homes because they're my neighbors. You guys are my neighbors. I want to make sure that we get these things safe so you don't go through this again. I'd rather us come back and mop the mullet out of the garage and go upstairs and have the house be good still.
And where can people go? Because you mentioned about the new floodplain maps. Where should people go to check? What's the website for that?
FEMA.gov, there's a flood map section. If you just search for FEMA flood maps, you can type in your address and see what your current flood map is.
Because it is new. They are new.
They're updated. They were updated as of November 17th.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And some municipalities are still updating as they're getting new data. So you want to check that pretty regularly. And but like I said, we can walk through all of that with you. If you guys reach out to us, I'm happy to go over the flood map, go over your home, go over what it would cost.
Insurance, grants,
all of those things. I spend probably a lot more time than I'm a couple hours. We have some clients in here that will attest that I may sit with you for a couple of hours and drink a beer with you while we talk about what you need to do.
There you go.
So how did you already say how people can reach you?
Yeah, so you can reach us on raisedfl.com, RAISEFL.com, or you can reach out directly to me at 813-393-0367. And I'm happy to come out, meet with you on site, go over all the pieces that go to your home and see if we can get you guys out of the water.
Say that number one more time so somebody can type it in the chat box.
813-393-0367. We'll get you directly to me. And I'm the senior elevation consultant for Florida. I live right here.
Thanks for coming on, man. Thank you for everything. And hopefully you'll get a lot more folks raising their house and saving their house on Fort Myers Beach.
Thanks
Big hand for Mike, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for sponsoring the show, too. We appreciate you guys very much. Now, folks, before I read off what the prizes are for the first giveaway, and sir, we need shirts in here, please. I am going to read off all the prizes, and then I'm going to ask the first trivia question, which will be an online answer. You have to type the answer in the chat box if you want to win. I first need to tell you about Jorge Barrera, everybody. He's in the house over here. Big hand for Jorge. He is the #1 top producer. Thanks, Bob. Take care. In agent in Lee County, and #4 individual agent in the entire company out of 1,500 agents for Premier Plus Realty. He has over 25 million in sales. Wow, that's a lot of zeros. And that's just for 2022, everybody. He's also pledged to donate 10% of his commissions until the end of 2025. Check out Jorge's 5-star Zillow reviews. Well, where do you find those? Well, you find them on Zillow, of course. They'll take care of you with integrity and transparency, and you can probably see him at 820 Buttonwood. That's where I ran into him earlier in the week, volunteering at 820 Buttonwood. Also, Valerie's Lounge and Liquors. If you have a chance to stop by Valerie's, she's located over across from the Walmart, and they're back open, and they surely could use your business. You know, they're like a Cheers, where everybody knows your name. You know, and they've been there since 2002, family operated. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, they have cash bingo with progressive jackpots. I think that means that makes them higher. Progressive jackpots go up. And they have drink specials, of course. Who doesn't have drink specials? Trivia at the bar on Wednesday, and the local band, the Flying Hasselhoffs. What was the name of the car in the Hasselhoff TV show? That was too easy. That didn't count. Nobody won anything. Nobody won anything. There was no prize for that. Don't type it in the chat box. Thank you so much to Valerie's Lounge and Liquors for being a sponsor of the show, too. All right, I'm going to turn the music down so I can read you all the prizes for the first giveaway. There are 15 of them. If you don't have a lot of friends, if you don't have a lot of people that you want to come to the beach with, you probably shouldn't participate. A $200 gift certificate on a 7-night stay at Bare Feet Retreat. $25 gift certificate at the Rude Shrimp Company. 20% off 3 escargots in Times Square. Paradise Parasail, a gift certificate that includes their biggest package, the Thrill Seeker Deluxe, where you can soar above the beautiful Gulf of Mexico. Diamond Head has given 2-night stay and 20% off food and beverage. Keep in mind, this is for one winner. Pink Shell, 2-day, 1-night stay at the Pink Shell. The Tiki Cruise 90-minute private cruise for free. SeaSaltFMB.com, 60% off any 5 to 10-day stay at Sea Salt FMB. Matanzas Inn, a Bayside 3-day vacation package at Matanzas Inn with 20% food discount at Petey's Upper Deck. A spa day package, $150 worth. A massage with a facial, plus 20% off. It's a regular $195 package. The Lighthouse Resort, Inn and Suites. A gift certificate, 2-night stay. $100 off a private sail with Magic Wind Adventure Sailing. 20% discount for private charter with Island Runner Tours. And it goes on. Cruise and Tiki's, 90-minute Tiki cruise for 6 people. And finally, the Mermaid Tales Sixplex, a 50% off rate from Sun Palace Vacation. Yes, Wahoo Willie'S, gift certificate for them, and Snug Harbor. That's one package, everybody. Are you ready? So the first winner is going to have to type the answer in the chat box. Wait, where's the question? All right. We're watching the chat box. Which 2 United States presidents came to Fort Myers Beach to fish? Which 2 United States presidents came to Fort Myers Beach to fish? And if anybody's Googling this, you should have no self-respect if you win. None. You should have no self-respect. Dear, I won the prizes because I went on Google. I hope Google doesn't even know the answer. I think we have an answer. Wait. Yep, right there. Right there. Yep. Wait, we have the first person. Is it Jim Williams?
Yes, it is.
Jim Williams is correct, everybody. It was Teddy Roosevelt and Harry Truman. Jim, you're going to have to give me a call now. Or give Marie. Write your number down. What? All right, Jim, we'll find out where you are. Good job, Jim. Good job. Jim won the first package. We have 2 packages that are exactly the same to give away before the show ends. So Jim Williams, the 4th, Roosevelt and Truman. These questions are rock solid from Lee Melsick. So thank you very much for that. Folks, I can't believe how many prizes we came up with for this. You know, I thought we were going to get like 2 or 3 prizes. And then after we started getting all these prizes, I was like, crap, we should have sold them for $50 each and then gave all the money to charity. So next time, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the same kind of thing. And if we get the same kind of response, we'll raise a lot of money for charity. So this is for Jim. Marie, thank you. All right. All right. Did my sidekick leave? Did she go somewhere? Or there she is, everybody, returning from wherever the hell she went. All right. Okay. Yep. We're ready to roll. Our second guest today, Jennifer Shelton. Come on down, Jennifer. There's a big event coming up to help folks out on Fort Myers Beach that may be, going through a little bit of stress because of what happened to them. And it's the Resiliency Roundup that's coming up. Oh,
It's okay.
sorry. I was told Jennifer was coming, but you must be.
I'm Megan Palumbo.
All right, Megan.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. And tell us what your role is with the organization.
So I'm the Director of Business Development for Park Royal Hospital. We're an inpatient psychiatric hospital here in Fort Myers, and we have intensive inpatient and outpatient programs for individuals living with substance use and mental health disorders.
Okay, just give me.
I know. I work
just
with Jennifer.
ran
She's on my
back from-
team.
Where were you running? Where'd you go?
I took Bob down to Times Square.
You pushed the wheelchair
Yeah.
all the way to Times Square.
Well,
Wow.
that was easy. It was the running back
You
that
didn't
was
even,
a
you
little.
didn't even break a sweat, though. So what? Tell us about the Resiliency Roundup, when it is.
Yeah, and first of all, thank you so much for having us on.
No,
It's
thank you
really
for coming down.
an honor to be here. We appreciate everything that you do, and especially for helping us build awareness about this event. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. A lot of people don't know May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we actually got a call from the Lee County Sheriff's Outreach Center here on Fort Myers Beach. A woman by the name of Teresa. She asked us, "Hey, can we get some mental health resources down on the beach?" I think we all know that, there's, of course, the physical impacts of a natural disaster like Hurricane Ian. But now is really when we're going to start to see the psychological ones. And so we came together, Jennifer, actually, myself and Teresa met, and we decided to bring all of our mental health organizations together under one roof and bring them down to the beach. And thank you to Diamond Head Resort. Neil, he's a great guy. He offered us pretty much free range of his hotel to have this event.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of that lately.
They've
Thank God for Diamond Head with all the meetings that needed to be held.
Yeah, they've been really incredible. They were super on board, which when you say the word mental health, sometimes people aren't. There is a lot of stigma around mental health. And our goal, is not just to raise awareness around mental health, but to raise action. Mental health is absolutely an action. And that's why we decided to not only bring all these organizations that offer different services for mental health, to be here to, share information about their organizations, but to actually come to the table with some sort of activity that builds resiliency, promotes self-care, and helps us de-stress a little bit. So attendees that will be coming, there's going to be over 25 different organizations from Southwest Florida.
Do you have a couple that you could mention?
Sure. So we have, just to name a couple, obviously ours, Park Royal Hospital, Salus Care, we have Hope Hospice, Avow. We have a number of counseling centers all across Southwest Florida that are participating. And we also have NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, White Sands Treatment Center, and a whole range, which I'll get to in a moment too, of individual or private practice clinicians are going to be participating in a little event that we have called Coffee with a Clinician.
Nice. And so the event is Give the date and the time.
So it's this coming Wednesday, May 31st. We're closing out Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We may not be done with all of the things that we have planned. We actually have Horsepower for Healing is bringing their therapy horses onto the beach.
Like real horses.
Yeah.
Like actual horses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's going to clean up after those?
I know, Jennifer.
Yeah. What
Does she know that?
Why is Jennifer no show today? What is she doing?
Well, we gave her a vacation for Memorial
see.
Day weekend.
I
So.
So we're how many horses?
I believe they're bringing 2 horses, maybe 3.
Now, do you ride the horses or you just pet them?
Actually, no, there's a number of things, and you'll have to come to find out. We
Yeah.
hope that you guys
Oh,
do
for
drop
sure.
by. You're
Well, she
welcome
has to
to
work.
report from it.
I don't have to work. Hi, how are you guys? Good.
There's a number of activities you could actually do with horses that have a very healing effect on the mind. Some people paint on the horses.
Oh, wow.
They have you take care
Wait,
of the horses or
Paint
take
the-
them
Did you say paint the horses?
paint on the horses. Yeah. You have
Groom
to
them.
try it. You have to come
You
by.
should go. You should
Paint the
go. You
horses.
need some equine
Like,
therapy.
so it washes off.
Any
I guess,
therapy
right?
would be
Yes.
great, actually.
It's safe paint for the horses.
Did you ever get kicked by a horse?
I have not. I almost got bit by a Clydesdale in New York City, though.
Really? Why? I mean, that sounds wild.
Well, they're pretty,
Yeah.
not very kind horses.
Yeah, they're
Really?
not. They're not the touchy feely.
Have you
kind.
ever
They're
been
like
to New
you.
York with the giant Clydesdales?
Yeah.
And
You know why? It's
The
because
Budweiser Clydesdales.
it's because they drink Bud Light.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's right. See what you did there.
Just kidding, man. Just kidding. I know I'm gonna get in trouble at home. Do you know about the whole Bud Light thing?
So you're also going to have meditation or yoga.
Yeah, so we're gonna have. It's amazing. All right, so here's what we did. We put out this thing. We didn't want to call it a mental health fair, right? Instead, we wanted it to be more of an engaging event that attendees can come, they can have an experience, and they could leave better prepared to face any sort of challenges in their life, whether it be storm season coming up, the loss of a loved one, economic insecurity, financial challenges. So we put this out to all of our, partner organizations in Lee County, and we asked, can you bring some sort of activity or resiliency tool? And the response we got was incredible. So we have some people, like, for example, one of the hospice organizations, they have a lot of grief groups and they have a lot of free services around grief and loss. They'll be doing activities to honor losses of loved ones. And when we talk about grief, right, I was actually just speaking to a longtime resident of Fort Myers Beach. And she shared with me, I asked her how she was doing. And she said, Megan, I take my walk every day down the beach, as she always did. And she said, it comes in waves for me. I looked out to my right and saw the beautiful Gulf. And I looked to my left, and it hit me that buildings that I used to walk by every single day aren't there anymore. But I'm starting to not remember what was there before. And when she said that, it almost took the wind out of me, right? Because that right there, that's grief.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the things that our community is going through. And if we can just do one thing a day, for ourselves, to acknowledge that and to build resiliency, because we can talk about resiliency all day long. That word gets thrown thrown around a lot, especially after a natural disaster. But are we really talking about equitable access to care?
Mm-hmm,
Because Florida is 49th in access to care for mental health resources.
I didn't know that.
Out of 50 states.
Wow.
We're 49. So we really need to come together and not only offer one another the tools to be able to practice resiliency in our day-to-day, but to share information so that we could help one another access services. If somebody were to come to you and they are experiencing stress, they are, not sleeping at night, they're having these symptoms, would you know how to talk with them, and would you know what direction to point them in? And this is really, leaving this event may help you be able to do that.
I have trouble sleeping at night. Do you think it's stress related?
It can be.
Yeah.
I think yours is hormonal.
What does that mean?
I think you're going through the man change. So.
How dare. Don't laugh at her. Jokes
It's
about
okay.
me. Come on, Megan. Wait, I don't even think I understand. Like,
No, but
are you
I
saying?
think
Don't you
it
think I
is
might-
important to train people to be almost like
Hormones?
mental health first aiders.
I don't
Like,
have hormones.
you know,
It's a big thing, actually.
it is a big thing.
After natural disasters, there's
I mean, it's actually a thing. Like
Yeah,
you can
mental
take a
health
course.
first aid.
Yeah.
I'm actually a facilitator
Are
in
you?
mental health first aid. Yep.
Yeah. So how do we get Florida from 49th like up a little higher than that? What's that all about?
Well, we got to go to Tallahassee for that.
Oh, forget that. That's like a 7-hour ride.
No, we could absolutely make changes, you know,
Yeah.
right here in our local community. I mean, the cornerstone to recovery is actually connection, right?
Mhm.
So if we can come together, and that's really what this is all about. It's not just about the different experiences you're going to have at every table that you walk around. It's not about, you know, getting to pet the horses or listen to the crystal bowls and do the yoga.
Right.
It's about
Are they
coming
going to be?
together.
Are they going to be doing yoga at this, or is it just a?
So we have yoga teachers, we have meditation
What should
coaches.
What should I wear when I come for the yoga?
Spandex.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yoga
Spandex.
pants.
Wait, where do you find yoga pants?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
They're
Really?
everywhere.
I
Are there
feel-
going to be therapy dogs? I see.
Oh, there's a ton of therapy dogs coming. We have therapy dogs. We actually have JP. He's a world-renowned street artist. He did a couple murals here.
Did he do the ones in the library, in the elevator in the library? We
He-
were just talking about what
JP?
the. Yes,
He may
I
have
need his
been.
information
You know
because
this Fort Myers? It says Fort Myers right here on the side of that building.
Yeah,
A couple,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the skull over here.
Yeah.
He's actually coming and he's doing live art. You could watch him create a mural.
oh, I need to go to
actually
this for sure. You know
on
what?
the board where Diamond
Megan, you got to let me talk a little. So when
She's
we're
really good.
I know we're trying to do
You're
the
really
we're trying to
good.
repaint the wavy wall in Times Square. He would be perfect for that.
He would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
He's done a ton of work down in downtown Fort Myers. He's trying to get back on the beach to help, you know, bring
Welcome to
some more
Wahoo
color.
Willie'S. So how much does he charge?
Oh, he's pretty expensive, but he's
Yeah.
doing this for free.
Nice. So
He's
so-
volunteering his time.
back
yeah.
back
So
to the
can I
yoga for a
ask-
second. Did the dudes do yoga at these classes?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Really?
absolutely.
One of the best yoga classes I took was from a guy.
No, I don't. I don't mean teach yoga. I
Have
mean
you
there-
done yoga?
never.
No,
I will.
He can't even touch his toes.
Here's the thing.
Wow.
It'll be bad.
I can guarantee this is a statement you will never hear me say. I just left my yoga class.
Okay.
Because
But that's-
especially
you know
around
what?
other dudes.
That's why your shoulder. He's like
Yeah,
an
I'd
alligator.
rather have a
arms
stiff
now.
shoulder
He can't
than
even,
say-
like.
I just can you wash my yoga pants, dear? I mean, those are just statements that you're just never gonna. I don't know. I just
What are people going to get with the coffee with clinicians? Sorry, I'm going to
Ooh,
swing
We're
it
done
right
with the
back.
so
yoga.
excited you asked about that.
Yoga's
Actually,
Thank
over.
you.
Okay, so this is what happens, and I've worked in community. I work in community relations for Park Royal Hospital, so I get to do a lot of these resource type fairs, right? And when we put them on, we tend to see a lot of organizations participate. You know, they have their tablecloths, their brochures, but who gets left out are the clinicians a lot of times. And what we really wanted to create. Have you ever been to Coffee with a Cop? Lee County Sheriff's
no,
does
they're
it.
doing it now at Mojo's.
It's,
Yeah,
It's really
Once a
cool.
month.
It's an opportunity to sit down with a local law enforcement officer, ask them questions, and get to know them a little bit more, and for them to ask you questions on how they could serve your community better. Well, this is kind of that concept. But what we saw was that not a lot of people know the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist,
Right.
a licensed mental health counselor and a licensed clinical social worker, somebody who's EMDR certified and somebody who's not, you know, and that's totally okay, right? But what are we doing as mental health organizations to help increase that understanding? So we're inviting all of our private practice clinicians, and we have an array of them. We have psychiatrists, we have psychologists, we have mental health counselors, and they're going to be there having some coffee, and you're welcome to come and talk to them and ask them about these different certifications. You could ask them about, you know, if you're trying to navigate the health system, what to look for. And one of the things that we did when we did put out this call to actions is that we asked some of the organizations participating in another question, asked them, would you be willing to offer free services for Hurricane Ian survivors?
cool.
And many of them answered yes.
Mhm.
So we will be providing that information resource guide after the event to all the attendees so that they can then go ahead and access services. One of the things, have you ever do you know the average time it takes somebody upon experiencing or being diagnosed with a mental health disorder, the average time it takes them to seek treatment for that disorder?
I'm going to say it's
A year.
years.
11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of that is because the stigma that's associated. And so I mean, who's responsible and how do you reduce that?
That's a really great question.
Did you hear that?
It's a really good question.
No, I'm sorry.
Yes.
My headphones aren't
Ring
working.
the bell, ring the bell.
So you're absolutely right. It is widely due to stigma. What we could do is not being afraid of sharing our own mental health challenges, right? Empathizing with one another. I think COVID it was a perfect example of something that changed the way we experience our world, right? A healthy mind, if you look at the word health, right, it's being free of injury or illness. And our minds are the way we see and experience our world. Well, when the way we experience our world gets completely turned upside down, how are we protecting our minds? How are we making ourselves free from injury and illness? We all have to take care of our mental health in some way.
I do it with Blue Moon.
Yeah.
No. And so
I'm just being honest.
and give us the dates again.
It's Wednesday, dear. It's only
It's
one
this
day.
Wednesday. From 10 to 12
How many different
at
vendors will
Diamond
be there?
Head.
So we have over 23 different organizations. We have over, I want to say, 10 different clinicians of all different disciplines that offered to be part of Coffee with the Clinician. We have horses and animals.
Yeah.
And, you
Can we
really
paint
are.
You're allowed to paint the dogs too, or just the horses?
No, you're not going to be painting the dogs.
I
I'm
see.
not sure if they're going to be painting horses at this event, but
Oh,
you'll have
you're
to come to.
retracting that, aren't
You're
you?
going to have to come to find out. But
Dave, you want to do
hopefully-
the yoga with me? If we get we'll go
Yeah.
yoga pants shopping this week, you and me. Show up with our yoga pants. What do yoga pants do? Protect you from chafing?
I guess, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah,
You have
It's
been
okay.
a great.
it's all right.
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble later.
No, we're really excited. I think one of the things we're just hoping to do with this event is bring the community together to practice resiliency, not just talk about it,
Mhm.
and leave saying, if I ever needed to reach out to that organization, I feel a little bit more comfortable in doing so.
Now, where is Park Royal Hospital? Where is that?
So we're actually members
Where?
of the Fort Myers Beach Chamber of Commerce because we are right up the way here off Bass Road by Health Park.
Oh, okay.
And, Park Royal Hospital, we actually remained fully operational through Hurricane Ian, even though, of course, we took a direct hit, in this area. And we carried a census of 84 patients. We have 126 beds. We had all of our staff and their families. We cleared out an entire unit for their staff, our staff and their families and their pets to come and stay so we could take care of our patients. We only were not admitting patients for a 48-hour period. And we were admitting patients up until we couldn't open the doors any longer. And as soon as we were able to continue, normal operations, we were the only Baker Act receiving facility here in Lee County to receive people in a mental health crisis.
There are so many people in my family that I want a Baker Act.
Okay,
I mean, a lot of them.
sure.
I mean, just
Well, it's in mental illness touches all of our lives.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in our families. I live with it. It's in our neighborhood. So it's great that you can talk about it.
what is the art therapy? What is that going to
Oh,
be?
there's going to be a lot of different art therapy, actually. So one of the things I'm actually very excited, Florida Art Therapy Services is coming with something called Stars of Hope. Have you seen this? Anyone seen the stars, painted stars on Fort Myers Beach? They're just kind of randomly hung around.
No.
I don't think I've seen
Now
that.
that I bring it up, you're going to see it. It's
Like
gonna,
we're hanging around where? Like on the
so it's
beach?
this project, and I don't want to speak. You'll have to, once again, come to find out a little bit more about it. But what they do is they follow natural disasters all across the country. They have these wooden stars, and they use art therapy to paint the stars and bring a community together. They then bring the stars and hang them up in places that were devastated to bring hope to that area. So we're actually going to have that being clinically led at this event. You'll get to paint a star, and afterwards you'll actually be able to head down to Fort Myers Beach and, hang it anywhere you'd like.
Where are they hanging them? They're hanging them on a business or somewhere on wherever they can.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere that could use a little bit of color.
Yeah.
They have a whole
There's a
story.
lot
I
down
don't
here
want to
that could
botch
use some
it.
color. So how much you want for that?
Guy. Is he a therapy dog?
Holy moly. You got to show this on the
I
camera
love that
here. Come
guy.
over. I know you're not allowed to have dogs in here, but I got special privilege. Look at this right here. The camera's on this side.
We have one.
Yes,
But
that is unbelievable. Look at
Cutie
that dog right
patootie.
there. How old?
Gracie May.
How old?
Remember Gracie May at the beach bar?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
At the beach. Oh
Yeah.
my God! Was a tiny
Oh,
puppy.
now I remember. Yeah. I remember now.
Tiny
Wow,
puppy.
that's a biter.
How cute.
Wow.
She got big.
How old is she?
6 months.
6 months. Wow. Oh, that's right. That when she was a baby, it was biting everybody down. I remember that.
Well, it was a
Wow.
puppy. Yeah.
How much did that dog cost you?
Enough.
Too much.
2,500.
I love it.
3.
3,000. Nice.
Then she got sick and it cost me another 4.
Oh, cheapers,
Oh,
creepers.
I got invested like $7,000.
Nice.
That's right. You
that.
got one, me.
I know. Those are great dogs. So thank you guys. Perfect.
great.
So
Thank you so
will
much.
you be there on Wednesday?
I will be.
Yeah. And you'll have a
Okay.
bunch of staff from Park Royal there too?
Yeah, we will have some of our clinicians from Park Royal. We'll actually have Center for Progress and Excellence. Their mobile crisis unit will be on site in case any feelings of, uncertainty come up and you're, needing to talk to somebody. We actually have a private room. You'll be able to sit down and talk with a crisis counselor. We'll also be offering through Lee Health, we'll be offering free mental health assessments, and United 211 has been a huge supporter of this event, and they will be offering free resiliency toolkits.
What's in
and
a
referrals.
resiliency
It's
toolkit?
really cool. They're it's basically a pamphlet, and it teaches you like 10 ways to deal and to foster resiliency and deal with stress.
Well, thank you so
Yes.
much for coming on.
Will Jennifer be there so that I can give her
she
grief?
will.
Well, yeah,
All right.
and you have to. And we would love for you guys to come out. You're welcome to report live from
Thank
the
you.
event,
Thank you.
and we really appreciate
Thank you
everything.
guys. Thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on.
much.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank
Everybody
you.
from Park
Thank
Royal
you.
Hospital, and they have a big event coming up Wednesday at Diamond Head. So thank you so much for that. And before we get to our second prize package, Mike Bannock, everybody. Mike Bannock is seen around town driving one of those vehicles that demolishes things. Destruction. He's full of destruction. Because if you need demolishing or debris removal or interior demolition, lot leveling, call Mike Bannock today. His phone number is 352-636-3719. 352-636-3719. Thank you to Mike Bannock for being a sponsor since we first started this dinky little podcast, or a little after the storm. You might need money if you're rebuilding a house. Money is always a good thing. And we want you to call ATM Mortgage because they can help you out. Jeff Tarbell was on the show a few weeks ago. You can give him a call at 916-718-5171. That's 916-718-5171. Is now the time for you to purchase a home in Southwest Florida. ATM Mortgage can help. They offer low financing options and loans that will allow you to purchase a damaged property and fix it up. Anything you need. Kim Henderson has been around a while. ATMmortgage.net, ATMmortgage.net. One little piece of news before we get to our second prize. And the way the second prize package is going to be given away is somebody in the building has to shout out the answer. That's the only way we're going to give this one away. Somebody in the building has to shout out the answer first. That's how we're giving the second package away. Nothing online. That'll be the last way we give it away. I did want to tell everybody there is a 4th of July kids fishing tournament Saturday, July 1st from 9 a.m. to noon. It's a catch and release tournament for kids ages 3 to 15. Registration begins at 8:30. It's going to be here at Moss Marine. Isn't it Moss Marina? Because you corrected me the last time. It's Moss Marina. And Otsego Bay Foundation is putting on Otsego. Oh, you're right. They did type that in right. Otsego Bay Foundation is hosting the kids fishing tournament.
You better get going. You're losing. This crowd is they're getting into their stuff.
That's fine. Hey, I've got prize packages to give away.
They're getting rowdy. Yeah.
Do I need to read the prizes again, or you
No.
guys already know? Okay. It's basically the same package except for a Sun Palace Vacations got a different room that they're giving it away to.
Say what? I know. I was
You
going
wanna
to
turn
say
that
you
up?
actually have to turn this up. I was like,
All right,
I
everybody.
never say that. Okay. Oh, not that much. Okay.
Here's
right.
the second question.
All right, everybody.
If anybody over there is playing, you're going to want to come over here just to answer. If anybody, just so that if you get the answer right, we want to make sure you hear it.
Hundreds of dollars in prizes.
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands
This is the
of
second
dollars
question.
in prizes.
No, the first person.
Oh, good luck with this.
All right, here's how we're going to do it to make it fair.
Yep.
You raise your hand first. If we see your hand go up first, Maria will come over. She knows the answer. Okay?
Maybe we should
All right.
write it down for Marie.
Is everybody ready?
All right.
What beach organization led the drive for the 1995 incorporation? Raise your hand. Does anybody know that?
Greg.
We got a
Greg.
no. Dave.
What did he say?
Wait, Dave was second. Two wrong answers. The question is, what beach organization led, you got to raise your hand, led the 1995 incorporation, the drive for the 1995 incorporation? Do I have to go to a different question? Is that one too hard? Holy Christmas.
What was it?
There we go. We should be back live there. Okay. You ready? What town manager was also you? Now remember, you have to raise your hand. You can't yell it out because there's too many people here. What town manager was also a singer who performed at various town events? What is okay? We got a guess over here. What town manager? Nope, we got that one's wrong right there. Okay, we're back on. Okay, thank you guys. Anybody else want to guess? I'm trying to purposely make these hard.
Well, you're doing a good
Turn
job.
it up. Turn it up. No, the other one where it's plugged in. There we go. We keep blowing out the speaker because I'm trying to make sure everybody can hear. but we're back on again. Okay, so we're going to ask this one, and I know we're going to get an answer to this one. That's the answer right there. All right, now make sure you remember you have to raise your hand. This is a $10,000 package worth of goodies, I think. I mean, I didn't really add it up. What former Fort Myers Beach town manager was hired here after being forced out of his previous job in Lee County? Wait, let me finish asking the question. This has got to be like Jeopardy, right? You can't hit the buzzer until the question is answered. What former Fort Myers Beach town manager was hired here after being forced out of his previous manager's job in Lee County for passing around photos of nude women on his government computers? You got to raise your hand. This is embarrassing right here. This is totally embarrassing. This is not ancient history either. This is recent history. Are you guys serious? Oh, no, Rita, you goofball. Nobody knows that? Nobody. Oh, my gosh, dear. I'm going to ask such an easy question. It's going to be crazy. The answer is Don Stillwell, everybody. You didn't even hear anybody go, oh, yeah. Nobody remembers any of that. Now, remember, you have to raise your hand. I'm going to make this super easy now. Super easy. This is one we're going with right here.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Remember, you have to raise your hand. The first hand that goes up wins. What hurricane created new pass on Bonita Causeway? Greg was first. You want to phone a friend? Oh, he got it wrong anyway. No, you were second. Wait, no. He was second. Behind the wall. He was second. I watched his hand go up. Sorry, I'm just being fair with you. He got it right. No, you got it. You want to give it? You want to defer? All right, you get it. Okay, very nice. That was very nice of you. I'm not splitting anything. Let them fight over it. Thank you, guys. That was perfect. There's a ton of we have one more left. Then let's see. The third question, we're going back online at the end of the show. We're going back online. So our final guest today is he still here? Oh, here he is right here. Come on down. DeWitt Willis lives next to the Beach Baptist Church. He lost his house in the storm. The answer was Donna. Sorry for the folks watching at home. The answer was Donna. DeWitt,
Hey,
how are you, man? Thanks for coming down.
Have a seat.
If you watched my walk around video last Saturday, have a seat, man. I stopped by, what's the name? Del Mar? Nice and close. Nobody can hear you.
Andre Mar.
And your trailer is the first one.
Yep.
Like on Estero Boulevard. So.
Yes, it is right on the corner of Estero and Andre Mar.
And you were sitting out front having a cup of coffee, and I knocked on your tree and asked if I could have a conversation with you. So kind of tell us what happened to your house.
Like most people here, Ian destroyed it. It leveled it down to the foundation. There is nothing left but sand.
Were you in the home at the time?
No, I have a very smart and wonderful wife. And okay,
you got to keep it close.
I want people out there to hear you.
My wife is absolutely awesome. She was smart enough to realize that there could be great turmoil, and she booked a hotel room for us down in Naples. So we got out.
Naples? Well, it's still...
Were you able to take stuff with you? Were you able to salvage some of your items?
I woke up the day after the hurricane with 2 pairs of shorts and 2 T-shirts. And that was it. Everything else is gone.
So your house is completely gone. Did you have to knock it down, or did the storm do it for you?
We never found it.
Wow.
I never found any. I walked the neighborhood, never found any siding, no roof, no nothing.
Just gone.
Just gone.
So we were just talking to Megan about they're helping people out that go through this kind of stuff with that are stressed, have stress and or dealing with it. And so how do you deal with the fact that you come back to your house and it's gone?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't sit there and give you a good, reasonable explanation. You just sit there and look at it and go, start over again.
Yeah. Was that your like primary home?
Yes.
Oh, so you lost everything.
Everything.
Wow.
And
Everything.
how long had you lived in the home?
We had lived here. We'd been on Fort Myers Beach for 4 years, lived there for 2.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right, Karen. It's not stress, it's trauma that
Yeah.
you go through. So how is your wife doing?
I don't know how to explain this. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster. I mean, all the mementos that everyone loves to keep, all our stuff, it's all gone, no matter what it be. We sit there at days and sit there and go, so let's go get no, it's gone.
Right.
No longer have, so.
And now you guys have an RV on your lot.
Yep.
And you're going through trying to figure out if you can rebuild.
Yeah.
Not only are you trying to figure out if you can rebuild, but now you have to deal with the possibility that there's going to be an 8-story condo right next to where you might rebuild.
The Baptist church, I think, is kind of overshooting what people in the neighborhood will accept.
Right.
There was a wonderful little church there, and it was great, to sit there and turn around and start putting in 30, 40 apartments plus condos plus retail space. This is the middle of the island. This is not this neck of the woods where this belongs.
Yeah. When you go down your street, it looks like a tornado must have torn down your street or something. So many houses are missing.
Yes, at least 4 deep, 5 deep. Yeah.
Were they all taken away by the storm, or
Oh,
have
yeah.
some of them been knocked down?
No, that's what we came back to.
Wow. Did everybody survive on your street?
I believe so. I know there are a few people who decided to stick it out, and they're no longer there. I mean,
Yeah. So the people that are in the RV behind you, I tried to interview them, but I freaked them out or something. I must have had boogers coming out of my nose or something. But no, we're friends now, so she'll talk to me next time. I mean, I understand some stranger walking around with a phone and they don't know who
Right.
you are.
right.
So are they going to rebuild?
They plan to. I'm wishing them the best that they can get it done. It's rebuilding on Fort Myers Beach is not cheap.
No.
I mean, people sit there and start talking $500 a square foot and up.
Yeah.
Right.
You start getting real scared real fast.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not an easy process. It's complicated now because you have to go up. You have to figure out where you are in that and how far up and what kind of home you're going to build.
And a lot of the house, I know of at least 3 of them, are considered multifamily.
Mm-hmm.
And the town is sitting there balking at it. And it's now a very difficult process to sit there and try to get back what you lost.
So let's talk about that specifically. When I spoke to you, you told me you were having issues with the town believing that you had a triplex there.
Yes.
Then you went and found the proof and you presented it to the town and they didn't believe it. Is that accurate?
It's not that they didn't believe it. They looked at me and they said, you need more proof.
Okay, you didn't have enough proof. But
Yeah.
Okay, then just
What did you have? What did you have? Did you have something from the county? Okay, so you had that county
from
property.
LIPA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which really, when I talked to the mayor the following Monday, he said that's really all you need now. You need to just show on LIPA that you had a triplex.
Which is easy enough here.
Yeah. So you're ripping through the LIPA printout that you had that showed you had a triplex there. A lot of numbers there, dear. It would be
Yep.
above my.
Yes, it says multifamily,
3
less
living
than
units.
10 units.
So when you
3
have you
units.
showed that to I know Jim Adderhole came and talked to you after he saw the interview. And,
Yes, I did have the opportunity of speaking with the town. A suggestion for anybody here who's going through similar troubles, go talk directly to the town, pound on the door till somebody opens it,
Mhm.
and ask them directly what they want to see. And if they got to put it down in writing, do it, but make sure you have exactly what they wish to see.
How do you keep that mustache clean like that? I mean, that thing is really getting long on you like that. Do you like it that way? I mean, I'm just distracting me a little bit. It's totally
What do you
distracting
call
me.
that?
A mustache, I guess.
You know, every time I see that, I think of Al Roboski. Have you ever heard of Al Roboski, the left-handed
the
relief
whole
pitcher?
goatee and stuff, you know. But we just got tired of that.
Is
too.
that? Do your wife think that? Does she think that's attractive, or does that turn her on?
She hasn't told me
having
to shave it off
I
yet.
see,
So
I see.
you know, you
how
take
do you
what you
keep
get.
it? How do you keep it clean? Just when you wash your face, you
Yeah.
just kind of pull on it like
Yeah.
that, and do you have to blow dry it?
I hang my head out the car window.
Do you ever use any like wax and like do?
Oh no!
handlebar-
Oh no! We haven't gotten that bad yet.
What about gel or mousse?
Yeah,
when you guys are
exactly.
going out on a date and you get all dressed
I'll
up.
mousse it right up. Stick it to my cheeks.
No, but seriously, stop joking around. Do it. When you now you showed the town this proof now, and now
Yes.
are you good?
Well, that was only one piece. I also showed him the appraisal for when the house was sold to me, which also states 3 units.
Mhm.
And they said, "Oh, that's great. Hold on to that. Now we need affidavits."
No, this is not true. It
And
can't
so
be true.
now, thank God for Jorge, the man over there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
Wow.
He gets more
Yeah.
applause than we do.
Yeah.
He needs his
Well,
own
he's
podcast.
styling.
He's
Yeah.
he's the local hero.
Yeah. What
you
is
know?
the
Yes,
deal?
he
What is the
is.
deal with his clothing that all of a sudden
He's
you think
all like, yeah,
he doesn't have a Beach
he's a
Talk Radio anything
fashionista.
on. He brought his
Nope, but he
lovely
wore
wife
yellow.
here. Yeah. So, but do it when you now, from what I understand, the LIPA paperwork is enough. Is it not enough? Is what
No, it
you're-
is not. It is only a piece of the puzzle.
What the mayor said to me on Monday, I believe, if I remember correctly, that the LIPA.
well, maybe that was a change since.
And what the hell does it have to do with 1985? What happened in 1985 that I'm not getting?
Okay, apparently Fort Myers Beach was the Wild Wild West.
When they were building back then.
Yeah, they built whatever they felt like building, and life was good. I found out from Lee County that they didn't have a full-time building inspector till the early mid-'80s.
Okay.
So things just happened.
Oh, they just built it without inspections or anything.
Right.
I see.
So they were sitting there trying to say to me, prove historically that this was a 3-unit building. And I'm like, I can't. There is nothing that exists.
But it says on the LIPA thing 3. It says 3. It says 3 living units.
What it says also is built in
1972.
72, effective 1985,
Yeah.
meaning that's when reality started,
Yeah.
as far as Lee County was concerned.
So is there somebody that thinks that you adjusted it to a 2?
Yeah, I printed it in the basement of the house I don't have.
The whole thing is confusing to me. I was under the impression that the LIPA document was enough, that it shows.
Well, maybe the LIPA document is enough now.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
you know,
So,
this
okay,
is the
so-
process that
Right.
everybody's
I
going
think
through.
the town is trying.
You're
I
making
mean,
it more confusing.
No, I think this town council is trying to help.
They are trying to help. I will give them credit. They are doing.
Why do
the
you do
best
that
they
thing
can.
with your pinky like you're drinking wine? No, on the microphone, you look like you're
Oh.
drinking. Why do you do that? When
I
you
don't
drink
know.
wine, do you do that too with
Yeah,
the pinky? I mean,
I don't drink that much.
do you want to
wine.
go to a
It's-
yoga class with me on Wednesday
That ain't
at the
happening.
Diamond Head?
Yeah, that ain't happening.
You're never going to take a yoga class.
Nope.
I mean, do you have yoga pants that were in the
You're
old
scaring
house?
me now.
He's getting ready to get up and walk off.
You're scaring me.
No, so the town, no, be serious with me for a second, will you? So I think the town is trying to help. Like, are you going to be able to, if you had a clean slate of money, are you going to be able to build your 3 units back?
We'll get our 3 units back. We will fight and claw and
Who are you
be
going to fight
obnoxious.
first? Who do you want to fight first?
Who do I want to fight first?
Yeah, who are you going to fight first?
I think you're going to win.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
there's-
think you're
there's-
going to win.
There's no choice in the matter. In order to survive on this beach, things are expensive. The cost of rebuilding, we've got to be able to sit there and at least break even. I'm retired,
Right.
and we got to be able to survive. And that's what
So
this is
you
all
get
about.
your 3 units back, build it up, and then you rent them out like vacation, like a
Mostly
week? Okay.
vacation rental, yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, keep us
When,
in
when
mind.
family's not, staying
Yeah.
over because it's awful
Oh,
nice
yeah, you
down
live-
there.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
exactly.
the first time I heard somebody tell me what they charge for like a weekend on Fort Myers Beach, I was like,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's like 6 months of my mortgage
Yep.
that you're
No, stop.
that you're getting for a week. But I mean, people love the beach; they'll pay it.
Well, it's a different experience than staying in a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we offered some very, very nice accommodations.
It's a great spot too, right there. You got easy beach access right across the street.
And we provided beach chairs and boogie boards and everything else for people, and the apartments were immaculate.
When was the last time you went boogie boarding?
Yeah.
Never.
That's right there with the yoga shorts.
They're yoga pants, not yoga shorts. The last thing I want to see is you in yoga shorts.
You don't want to see my hairy legs, huh?
No, so seriously for a second, what is your piece of property worth? What do you think that piece of property is worth? You're right on Estero Boulevard, not so much Mid-Island, a little bit closer to the Beach Baptist, where there's going to be an 8-story condo building soon.
It's property. I defer to Jorge.
What do you think his property is worth?
What is his property worth? 1.2 million, he says.
Yep.
Do you know how cool your mustache would look if you had $1.2 million to groom it?
Yeah, that'd be totally awesome.
I mean, if you had to sell that property, where would you go?
We love Fort Myers Beach.
No, he's not even entertaining that
So,
idea. That's a dumb question.
How's the insurance company treating you?
Guess what? Flood insurance said that I shouldn't get any money
Because it was wind damage.
Well, no, they said that the homeowners insurance paid me too much money, so therefore they're not going to give me a dime.
Are you fighting that too?
Do you need an attorney? Because we have attorneys.
Did you get an attorney?
Appraisers.
We had an appraiser.
Yeah.
And because we are fighting the federal government now, I've had to appeal it to FEMA.
Really?
That he can't do any good. He goes, no, you got to take this on yourself.
Where'd you meet your wife?
Massachusetts.
Yeah. What were you doing back then?
Oh, I was in construction. I worked low income home weatherization for the state.
So if you rebuild, you're going to rebuild yourself? You're going to build the house?
No, I'm actually looking at a company called Myers Builders to sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing the pre-made units.
We don't talk about them anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they seem to be a good company, and they can put it up relatively quickly. And
so, how much is it going to cost you to rebuild?
1.5.
All right. You got that money in your back pocket, ready to roll?
I got a tin cup, and I'll be on the Times Square shaking it.
Well, we love your neighborhood over there, and we wish the best for your neighborhood over there, except for Tom Insko. That guy's freaking crazy. Have you ever met him?
Stop.
He's a nut job. Yeah.
No.
Oh, God. He's wackadoodle.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. The whole island's going to be interesting.
The build back really is going to be.
Yep.
I am just
Nice
hoping
shirt.
that the flavor of Fort Myers Beach doesn't disappear. There's a lot of corporate push, a lot of corporate money. Things are beginning to look a little cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see that happen. I want to see the people building silver jewelry again, and all the little and the tattoo shop and all the rest of the little gutsy stuff.
Well, with people like you on the island, it's never going to change. So hopefully, you have folks that are like you that stay.
That's the plan. I get worried. I hear these projects at Moss Marine of big corporate money coming in. The church with big corporate money coming in there.
Let me clarify that. That Moss Marine is it's a local guy that's been owning that, so that's different.
Okay.
But on the Beach Baptist side, it's a developer from Atlanta, so that is a little bit different.
Yep.
So, but it's happening everywhere. I mean, when I heard what the plan was, somebody whispered in my ear about what the folks at the Outrigger want to put over there, and I was like, I was laughing out loud. Like, are they insane? Do they not pay any attention to what's going on? Sorry, I'm spitting on you.
Yep.
Because it irritates me.
Getting
like
all excited.
These people come in. It's like, do you even know what's going on? Like, do you even listen to the residents on this island? Like, it's crazy. The town council is not going to approve monstrosities like that. No matter what people think, just because somebody puts a proposal for a 13-story building on the Beach Baptist property. That's where it started at 13 before the town. It started at 13 before the town council members was like, all right, you guys are smoking weed or something.
We're all good to have a church back.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully he can figure out a way to rebuild it.
Not a business, a church.
Yeah. Do you go to church a lot?
I used to.
Yeah. I don't go either. So, I mean, do we really need a church there? I mean,
oh my goodness.
I'm just kidding.
Some
We
people
love
really,
I should go to church more.
Some people really like them.
Yeah. No, it's a shame though that there's not a single operating church. I mean, they're operating
Yeah.
as best
Right.
they can in the parking
Mhm.
lots
In
and
the- in the
stuff like
situation,
that.
yeah.
But it's just horrible that all the churches were totally destroyed.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
Crazy.
So, anyways,
anything else you want to talk about before we let you roll?
I just anybody who's having troubles, go to the town
Directly.
and beat on the door. I went to all the town council meetings and they get a million things on their mind. You've got to really kind of nail them down and
Bring the
ask them
proof.
Get in front of them,
exactly
face to face.
face to face and what do you want from me?
Right.
And I will supply it. You just got to tell me.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When are you going to start rebuilding?
As soon as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still money to be chased. There's still
It's crazy. It's almost
Yeah.
7 months later, and you're still. How long do you think you can live in that freaking RV without your wife killing you?
about another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, you've made it a lot longer than somebody would have made it. I'll tell you
it's
what.
a shame to see all the people who have left.
Yeah.
It's really kind of not a good
Yeah.
thing. But
Well, thank you for
Hopefully
coming on,
they'll
and
come
thank you
back.
for.
Pleasure, guys.
And we
Thank you
hope
so
to
much.
follow your story along and
Yeah.
hopefully watch you rebuilding your house, man.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Big
And
hand for Do It, everybody. Local residents.
thank you
for
for all
rebuild-
the-
Yeah,
Thank you for all the things you do too.
thank you. It's
Okay.
mostly
He doesn't do much.
me. She's along for the ride.
Yeah.
I got a
She
feeling
just
that's
like-
not the truth.
She just likes the fame and fortune.
Oh, yeah.
She just likes to
Especially
sit
this
next to a
fortune.
good-looking guy.
Oh, there you go. She's got 2 of them now.
Good
We're gonna
one.
have a great day,
I'm
guys.
gonna be wearing yoga pants on the show next week.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. We have one final prize to give away. What?
Well, it's online.
These are the 3. There's going to be. This is a 3-answer question. If you're in the audience here, you can win. If anybody came to the show late, there's about $10,000 worth of giveaways here. And that includes stays at the Matanzas, at the Pink Shell, at the Lighthouse.
I thought you said it was an online thing.
Wait, they can type in the chat box
Oh,
while they're here.
okay.
It's just you can't just shout it out.
Yeah, we're not doing the raising hands
Yeah.
thing because
It includes stays at what do you this is called Bare Feet Retreat, vouchers to Rude Shrimp, all kinds of vouchers. I mean, it's a thick package of giveaways I was never expecting to get. And thank you to everybody. It includes tiki cruises from 2 different companies for free. So the idea that the reason I did this was to try and get people to come to Fort Myers Beach and spend more money with the businesses that are down here. So if you're out of town and you win, then invite all your friends and get on a private plane and come down and just freaking spread money, spread money everywhere. So, all right, here we go. You have to type the answer in the chat box or you can't win. The first person. Yes, you have to know all 3.
oh my goodness.
I'm trying to make it
We're gonna
hard.
be
It's a big
here a
prize
while.
package. If this one doesn't work,
Okay.
please don't Google it because that's cheating and you have to live with yourself that way. All right, here we go. This show is running way over.
Yep.
How many beach residents have served on the Lee County Commission? Who were they? There are 3 beach residents that served on the Lee County Commission. Who are they? Wait, I'm watching too. 3 beach residents served on the Lee County Commission. I didn't want to ask a question that had like a number answer, like 15 or 16 or 17, because then people could just type in the numbers and it would be easy. These are great packages to give away, so you wanted to make it a little bit hard. Does anybody know? Alvin Simon Theodore. That was great. Even I got that, Kelly. Larry, Curly, and Mo. That's a good one. All right. People are obviously drinking early in the morning today. It's Memorial Day weekend. Roberts. Me, myself, and I is a good one. Was that you?
And Memorial Day, thanks to all
Oh,
of
yes.
the folks who have served in
Yeah.
all branches.
Yes. Big hand. Yeah. You guys start that.
Yep.
You have to have all 3. You can't have one. We're going to go with this one for 1 more minute before we make it hard. We make it easier. 1 more minute. I don't even think you can Google that one, which is good. I don't want you to be able to Google that one. 3 beach residents that I'm so surprised that these questions.
There you go.
What?
Jenny Robertson Kiker. Is that supposed
Wait.
to be like her? Jenny? Because she was supposed to write like her, then she never.
Where's Jenny? Yes, that is correct. Yes. Jenny is you here? Jenny, are you here? I know you're local. Very nice. She got it right. That's a massive package. I hope you share it with all your friends. Very nice. Can you let me finish the show first and announce what the hell the answers were, Marie? Okay, the answers were Jim Sweeney, Ro Roberts, and everybody remembers the late Larry Kiker, who was also a beach resident. So, wow. Thank you all for participating. Another $10,000 package goes to Jenny. Awesome. I'm glad now you know how to use that. She'll use that locally. So those packages were freaking great.
That's
so.
awesome.
You know, the great part about that was her husband. It's her husband, right?
Yep.
He won the second one and gave it away. So everything worked out great. So thank you all for coming today. We're going to do this again. The next time we do it, we're going to sell the tickets for $50 each, and we're going to give the money away to charity.
And then we're just going to pick out of
That's right. We're going to pick out of a hat because I had no idea that this was going to be.
Yeah, you did, because we've done this before
Here's
didn't work.
Here's the thing that it didn't work.
No, because the questions were too hard.
No, the thing that was amazing to me is I put like one post on Facebook. I never talked to anybody about those prizes. I never talked to anybody on the phone. All I got was people wanting to give things away, and they sent me an email, and I was like, "Are you sure you want to do like 3 full weekend packages?" That's how great everybody was. Okay, the mocking thing is really hurting my professionality here. I mean, I'm trying to be a professional podcaster like Joe Rogan, and you're completely tearing me down like this. So, all right, everybody, thank you all for coming.
Oh,
no, they got married,
that's
right?
right.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's follow that up, Kelly. Come on. Yeah. We got to do this. Last weekend you were on the show, and we tried to wait. Where'd you put the mic? She's leaving. She's out of town. You said you were going to get married on Fort Myers Beach.
We did. We didn't. We ended up getting married on Sanibel.
Oh, they went to Sanibel and got married. Fort Myers Beach isn't good enough for some of us.
No, it was totally our photographer. She came to both beaches and figured out where the sun. It was all about lighting and the wind.
Yeah.
And she sent me these things, and she said, "Your hair will blow better this way." And
I love when my hair blows better that way.
so that's why we just got married on Sanibel on a
Yes,
whim. Like
and you guys got
I texted
great
you
pictures.
or messaged you as soon as we knew.
Yeah,
Like, it was last minute for sure.
Very nice. So now the kids will be delivered when? No more kids?
No
for you?
more kids.
Oh, I see.
No.
I see.
Maybe
So-
I'll have another dog.
Oh, I see.
I need another puppy.
So when did you get married? What day of the week was
Wednesday.
it? Wednesday night. All right. So it's less than a week now.
Yes.
3 days. Is he on your nerves already, or like?
Oh, he's working on it.
How long do you think this marriage is going to last? Like,
This
I mean,
is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
Okay. You just got to make it work, right?
Yes.
All right. So those are some pretty cool pictures. So though, thank you for sharing your looping it around for us and closing the door on the
We
marriage.
really did
Thank you.
it.
Thank you for coming down again.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. And we appreciate everything you guys do for us. All the coffees. It was a massive month for coffees. And we appreciate that. If you want to buy any gear, Marie is here to take care of you. And we'll see you Mondays with the mayor will be Tuesday this week. And we'll see you next Saturday at Wahoo Willie'S.